Hey everyone, this is Kat from Kokoro&me. Welcome to my second video here on YouTube, which is also part 2 of my dream house build. So in the last video, we put our efforts into designing the exterior of the house. So today will be all about the interior. Going straight into the build as well, we are currently looking at the dining room. For this, I actually try to get a bit out of my comfort zone. As I said in the last video, I usually have my main pool of items, so there will be lots of exploring once again, trying out different styles and kind of not using the items I usually use, although I really like, I guess, the white furniture style or quite clean and minimalist. However, it starts off like my usual interior designs, but I think in the end I kind of opened myself up a little bit more towards furniture styles, I guess, and items I've just never really used or would naturally just not use because they're not my personal style, but because we are building something big here, really had to vary a little bit between all of those things. Do love those little spoon and fork items you can put on the wall. Nice thing about them is you can actually place a few of them, you can repeat them, and they are actually different colors, I think. So yeah, as you can see there, I've just used a silver one and a dark one, and I think in combination they're quite nice. So basically kind of tried to make this a bit more homely. Thought if we could actually add a little bit of a bar area in here, because this is a dining room in the end, but that just didn't work. So we're trying lots of different items here in the end. I think we're placing some pet items. Now thinking back about it, oh yeah, I did actually put a pet. Oh no, I removed it. But yeah, thinking back now that I'm seeing the build again, I was thinking, well, if humans are eating in here, so potentially cats and dogs should do the same. But I guess not. I guess that was not my intention in the end. I do know some people like to place their food bowls into the kitchen, and I think this is where we always had our pet food bowls. I mean, we, as in my family and I myself, I do have 2 little cats. Their food bowls are quite close to the kitchen because we are storing their food in the kitchen cupboards or in one of the cupboards as well. So it's quite convenient to, I guess, be close to the source. Either way, we've already moved on to the kitchen design. I wanted quite a nice big kitchen. Usually I don't have as many counters as these. You can see myself going through lots of different color schemes as well, just because I went like, okay, let's not do the usual yet. Let's just try a few pieces, a few colors, anything that doesn't really, I guess, scream this is the usual cat. In a way, quite annoyed that the counters have a completely different white, even though they're the same color scheme to the ones that are hanging on the wall. So a few of them actually stay white, but the ones especially at the row of windows on top of the oven and all that stuff, that just has really weird tint. It's kind of like creamy in a way that really annoys me, and that I'm not sure if that's actually a bug in the game or if it's the light. It might actually be the lampshade that's in there, because it's kind of at the height, I can't talk today. It might reflect the light differently, although the ones in the corner, they do have the right colors. So, well, to be fair, I might have also placed the wrong color. So just moving on to the decoration here, I decided to give the kitchen this brick wallpaper look and feel, so it feels a bit, I guess, homely. Actually, we've already moved on to the living room, so the kitchen was done in the end. I didn't really plaster it in too many items, but that was also because I guess getting out of your usual ways also means exploring new things and kind of getting a new style or a new feeling for where to place what. So at that point, I wasn't really experienced enough to, let's say, know what I want to place there. But ever since I've recorded a few videos already, because I do have a full-time job. I'm a graphic designer, so during week I usually record, and then on the weekends I do cut my videos and do the voiceovers, and then just upload them the next week or the week after. So I think I've got a bit more versatile when it comes to designing in The Sims. So now, seeing my very first video, I feel like, oh God, I've done all of these things now, and I should have done them differently, because I do them differently right now. For example, those really massive cat posts, I just started scaling them down one step, just because they feel so massive, so humongous. They are, I guess, deeper than a sofa, and they are like 3 times the height. So I just feel in proportion to all of the other furniture, it is kind of a little bit overpowering, a little bit too big, I guess, in a way. So I do tend to kind of scale them down now a little bit. So looking at the wall of the TV, I have once had a build where I combined a little sideboard with they weren't really bookcases, but there were some sort of decorative items like this. And I remember when I was building this, I was so looking for them, couldn't find them in the end. I went through so many different areas. In the end, I think it was one of those bathroom shelves you could use. So yeah, you can see me there trying it with bookcases. I just couldn't find what I was looking for, and I wanted kind of the same look and feel as those sideboards. So I've doubled them up and kind of moved them together, so there's a seamless transition between 2 items, because I think if you do place them naturally, they would actually have a gap in between. So I just wanted to kind of blend that a little bit, so it looks like it's rather one long sideboard than to match together, kind of. So I've kind of found my way with a few items like this. So now I do that with curtains quite a lot, that I either use the move objects on tool to place them nicely, or I scale them up and down. And there are quite a few items where I kind of found my way with them, as I said, so that's quite nice. But although looking at this build now, because it is my first properly recorded video of like 3 or 4 hours, it took so long. It is so weird seeing how I've done things now. So I'm a fan of, I guess, doing the utility rooms first, and utility rooms for me are the ones I definitely lead with my Sims. So you've got the kitchen, you've got kind of, well, I don't always do a dining room, but because this house was big, I thought that kind of leads towards having a separate dining room. So yeah, doing the kitchen first, then somewhat of a dining area or room, doing the living room with a TV, because that kind of fills most of the Sims' basic needs, and then doing the bathroom. So we've done a small one in at the ground floor, which is kind of, it's not, I guess, my nicest work, and it's not the most exciting bathroom because it's quite small, but this house has a total of, I think, 3 bathrooms in the end. So they're all, I've just moved on to building them. And basically the floor plan of the first floor is very, very symmetric. So you do have, I guess, adult or /teen bedrooms to the top left and the top right. And then I decided to kind of do some teenager rooms to the bottom left and the bottom right, one kind of male-ish, one female-ish. So we've got kind of like a girly side and a male side, although that's quite stereotypical to say of me. So excuse if anyone, apologies if anyone ever feels offended by that. So both bathrooms are kind of mirrored. I just decided to have them have different color schemes. So one's yellow, I think the other one was turquoise. The master bedroom, so one we've just completely not spoken about, but the first master bedroom is kind of bluish. I decided to use lots of cats and dogs items that are fairly new. I think the bed is one of them, as well as the closet. So I think that room is quite nice. It has kind of like a dark blue color scheme. After I think I've actually built those bathrooms in tandem, so I moved on to the girly room. I wanted it to kind of be, I did like the bed in its pink and turquoise color scheme. I just couldn't find a rug that was kind of this pink, because I get a bit, I guess, it gets difficult when you do have different shades of pinks, where you feel like one's kind of a hot pink, one's more of a purpley pink, and that really annoyed me, but I got there in the end. So the girly room is quite a pink room, but I thought it has everything it needs. I didn't want to really place a toddler bed in there, but if you do download this lot and house in the end. If you decide to keep it furnished, you can always just replace one of the beds and make one a toddler room. I just thought, so what I would want to have, because I'm originally from Germany, but I'm living in the UK now, I would always want to have somewhat of a guest room. So I decided to just go with 4 bedrooms on the upstairs, because we do have the space, and I just wouldn't know what else I would do, because I wanted to keep as I said, the build a bit realistic. So I didn't want like 20 bedrooms, 20 kitchens or anything like this. I wanted to have like a normal size, I guess, utility room area. So 1 kitchen. Well, I don't mind having ensuite bathrooms or anything like this. Could have placed the door leading inside either master bedrooms. Didn't do that in the end, because I just thought that little diagonal wall worked really well. I'm also quite a fan of using those glass see-through doors. I guess in real life I wouldn't do that, or I would have the glass really, really milky. So if you go there for your business, no one could see through the door, basically, because why would you have a door then? In the end, you might as well just leave the door out and have none, if everyone can look in there. Although I guess you can cut out the noise if you decide to go for a business meeting or anything like this. So moving on to the kind of male teenager room, although sorry if you feel offended that I kind of connect blue with a male room. It could also be a female room, but I just decided to kind of, I guess it's a bit dirty. I know from my little brother that he always used to have literally the dirtiest room ever, with lots of stuff everywhere. My parents kind of always went with a darker color scheme with his room, I think. So he always had like dark blues or greens or anything, whereas I was literally the girly girl with like pink walls or anything that was really super girly. So last bit of the first floor was basically just doing the hallway bits. I do quite like how the roof is kind of getting in there. So from an architectural point of view, that was quite nice. I've got a nice screenshot of that as well, where you can properly see it, because we do kind of have like a center stage. When you walk up the stairs, you see the big door and in front of you. But then if you look to the left and right, you kind of have lots of little angles and diagonal walls. And I think that kind of panned out quite nicely. So I'm quite pleased with that, I think. So in the end, just placed some decorative items, I think, in that hallway, and then moved on to the downstairs hallway, where in the beginning I wasn't really sure what I really wanted to do with that. I guess I also struggled quite a lot with the curtains, just because, I didn't really have my workflow when it came to curtains. I was like trying that out, and for some reason I didn't even think about scaling them down or using the move objects on cheat or anything like this. I was like just using them how literally a really simple normal sim user would use them. And then later on in my other builds, I was like, hey, wait a minute, I can do this and that with curtains and also lampshades. So sometimes I find they are either super humongous, like they're quite nice big ones with a round lampshades, but when you place them, they're like the size of, I don't know, a double bed or something in comparison. So now you can just scale them down and kind of make them quite nice, and then you can move them up and down as well to just have them not look weird, because I guess sometimes they do have a certain cable length when you hang them off the ceiling. So if you make stuff smaller, that one scales down as well. So you could just, if there's a gap between the real ceiling and your lampshade, you could just move it up again, kind of thing. Meanwhile, we've actually, whilst I was just blah-blahing about Sims techniques, we've moved on to the back room, which was kind of more or less a hallway as well, but I decided to make it a little bit of a, I guess, quiet place, lounge area. So you do have your living room, obviously, with nice sofas, and then I thought that room might be quite nice, just, I guess, if you've been outside or you do want to avoid the sun. If it's quite a hot day outside, you could sit inside and enjoy your time there. I think now we've got 3 rooms left, and I decided to basically keep the right wing of the house and make it kind of like an activities room. So obviously first time playing the Sims 4 Cats and Dogs expansion, I decided to get myself a vet room, because in the beginning I decided, okay, this dream house is actually going to be the aspirational house for my first Sims 4 Let's Play. So I decided that basically whoever moves in there after they've worked themselves up might as well have their own little training room, because I wanted them to become a vet basically. In the end, things turned out differently as I was kind of building the neighborhood and other Sims and their houses kind of thing. So it's not, I think this house is not really going to come into play anymore, but I just decided to keep this, well, I guess a vet room in there because it's quite nice. The other two rooms are basically going to be an office room and a little inside gym, because I thought, I guess you would, I to be honest, would love like a workout room. So I just decided to place that there. So we've got a wall full of mirrors, because most of the gyms kind of have this, where you can see, watch yourself, perv on yourself whilst you're working out. Place some, I guess, activity items there. Annoyingly, these mirrors kind of, when you, I don't know, concentrate on a different room, those mirrors sort of still show. I'm not sure if that's because I've got half walls on, and maybe later on it will be different, because sometimes wall items kind of disappear in certain angles, but it kind of annoyed me a little bit that you could still see them like right there. You've got like a massive wall. So I tried in the beginning, I tried to kind of hide it a little bit with a wall of bookshelves, but then it just felt a bit too officey, as in, I mean, obviously that's going to be a home office, but what I mean with office is that it basically looked quite a lot like an office, like work office or anything, because those bookshelves kind of have those typical folders and look so sterile and typically like worker office. So in the end, yeah, I went with a set of chairs and a little chair there. Color scheme turned into like a yellow and blue color scheme, and I really love these chairs. You can both have the chairs and the little round carpet in either yellow or like a dark blue / navy, and I do love this color combination. So even if you use the chairs in dark blue and made the carpet yellow, citrus or anything like this, that looks quite nice. So in the end, so I wanted to go away from the office look and wanted to make it look like more of a home office, so a bit homely. I guess if I turn out to be a full-time YouTuber, I would want to have an office like this, although I would obviously have a different PC, maybe some more lamps or anything like this for better lighting. I would have a microphone there, but most of these items you don't really have in The Sims. I think they are like small digital cameras you can place for the photography skill, and there's like a massive photography studio, but that one's just absolutely overkill, I think. So decided to keep it small. Feel free to, just add anything, but that's basically my house build. So moving on to the screenshots, we've got a nice dining room, the kitchen, moving on to the living room, which is kind of like homely with the cute little Sims 4 Cats and Dogs sofas. Once again, the chill out room, the indoor gym, the vet room. I'm quite pleased with the indoor gym actually. I've never built something like this, so quite like it. So moving to the upstairs, the left side, we've got a little bathroom. It's not really exciting or anything. The 4 bedrooms in one go, and then that's the nice shot I meant in the end. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this house, both with the exterior and interior. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon.